Kia ora, ko Sharon Holt tōku ingoa. Today I thought that I would talk to you about some of the ways that you can really move forward with your practice of pronunciation, adding more phrases to your kete and perhaps more sentences, and having a goal of moving forward all the time with your te reo Māori journey. And so one of the things that I think is right out there for us, as I've mentioned before, are the signposts all around us for the Māori place names. So if we're constantly practicing those as much as we can, putting the break after every vowel, remembering how to pronounce the vowels in the first place, and remembering the pronunciation of everything and practicing it out loud, that's a great thing as well. But as well as that, we can do other things than just the signposts around us and our place names, because there's a lot of Māori language around us that we sometimes, I think, just kind of glaze over and don't really necessarily realise that it's an opportunity for practice, maybe because we're not confident and we're used to kind of ignoring it. So if you're one of those people, think about from now on looking around you and seeing what are the Māori words and phrases in your environment. It might be in the classroom, it might be on the bus, it might be something that comes through the mail, a letter from the government or something, might be something on television, something in the newspaper, even in the supermarket. I was in a supermarket the other day and there were Māori language signs all around the place, and hopefully I'll be able to do a video with one of those soon. So the example that I've got today is this is a book which has been produced by Christchurch City Libraries, and as you can see it's in English and te reo. So this is something that was available in the libraries, obviously, written and illustrated for the purpose of telling a story about being more involved in the library. And these kinds of things, pamphlets, I mean, wherever you go, if you think about it, you can actually look and find more things with Māori language in them. So instead of maybe trying to just stick with what we know, be really open to, hey, oh, there's something with Māori language. It might contain a phrase that would be really useful for me. It might be something that I can practice speaking my reo by just reading it. So here's an example of what you could do. Let's say you pick up a booklet or a brochure or something like this with not very many words in it. So it says story time and there's the translation under it. Te wā kōrero. Te wā kōrero. So you know that kōrero is about talking, so that's storytelling in this sense, and te wā is about the time. Te wā kōrero. So there straight away is something that I could think, oh well, perhaps that's something I could use in my practice as a teacher. I could call something te wā kōrero, and maybe I could put up a sign about that over my chair where I sit and read to the children. So I'm always thinking about what is out there as a learning tool for me and something that could be a teaching tool. And so te wā is the time, so it's a bit like the time for something else. Te wā kai, food time. So there's a lot of possibilities with that. And then when I'm looking down here, it's in very small print, but Christchurch City Libraries is translated there. Ngā kete wānanga o tautahi. Ngā kete wānanga o tautahi, and o tautahi is the Māori word for Christchurch, not a translation. And here there's even some more translations about getting more information. The first page is the first page of the story, obviously, and that is "Oh, where tirohia te matawā." Tirohia te matawā. Goodness, oh where. So oh where is like, oh my goodness, yeah, so that would be something you could add to your kete of knowledge. It's similar to what we would say anyway. Oh where. Tirohia te matawā. And this is, goodness, look at the time. Oh where. Tirohia te matawā. So that is something that you could maybe think, wow, there might be a couple of ideas in there that I could add to my kete of knowledge. Up here on this poster, it's got a vowels poster. So it's got ahi for fire, eke, to do with riding a bike, ika for fish, oma for run, and unuku for rainbow. That's one of the words for rainbow. Let's look at the next page. Kainga tō parakuihi. Eat your breakfast. Kainga tō parakuihi. So one thing that I would really encourage you to do, particularly if you come across a sentence that you don't necessarily know the translation might not even be there, is to use it as speaking out loud practice. So even putting the breaks after every vowel, making the syllables so you know how to pronounce the longer words. You might not have come across the word for breakfast before. Parakuihi. And this is kuihi. Parakuihi. 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 So it's a way of practicing Māori words, and I guess letting your brain think, hey, this is like an adventure, te reo Māori learning adventure. Every time I find some Māori words or sentences or phrases that I'm not expecting, take hold of them. This one says, komo kākahu e tama, komo kākahu e tama, get dressed son, komo kākahu e tama. And then, komo kia or who, put your shoes on, who. Komo kia or who. I think we need to recognise that we mostly use with children the word pōtai for hat, but we need to also use who for shoes because it's really common and it's a good extra word to use with children. Mauria mai tō peke. Bring your bag. Mauria mai tō peke. So there we go, there's another one, bag, peke. Ki tua o te marae. Pass the marae. Ki tua o te marae. Whakawhitihia te awa. Cross the river. Whakawhitihia te awa. So this is a good one to practice. It's a long word. Whakawhitihia. Whakawhitihia te awa. Kua hau mai ki te whare pukapuka. We've arrived at the library. Kua hau mai ki te whare pukapuka. Beautiful library it is. So kua is the word about the tense for something having just happened. We've just done that. Kua hau mai. Mō te wā kōrero. For story time. Mō te wā kōrero. And then there's some information there about the author and the illustrator. So I just wanted to give you an idea using that little booklet as an example about the things that are all around us with Māori language. I'd really love it if you could see things that are in te reo in a different light and see them as a fabulous opportunity, like an adventure. Oh, look, here's something in Māori. I could practice saying it. I could see whether there are any words or phrases in there that I could add. What do I know? What are the things in here that I know the meaning of? Instead of just looking at this body of text and thinking, I wouldn't have a clue what all that means. Look at it and find things you know. You might know the word, one of the words in there. You might know a little phrase in there. There's lots of opportunities all around us to extend our use of te reo. And I really encourage you to do it more. Ka kite.